He had put in quite a hole, and the Arkansas Razorbacks got game 1 of 2 against the Texas Tech Red Raiders, where there's a couple Texas Tech connections, including Hudson White, your catcher, and Mason Molina, who we didn't see last night, but was a Texas Tech Red Raider last year. Game today, 4 o'clock. Then you'll travel to Columbia, South Carolina, continue on SEC play, and that's where we begin here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Yeah, good to be with you, and good for the Hogs to win. Good medal testing performance last night, Ty, for this team. So we'll see if they can build off of that.
Yeah, and as they continue on, it's one of those things where Arkansas is like, if you slip up in midweek games every once in a while, that's okay, but you'd like to keep that win streak going. You'd like to continue to have that home dominance in Baum-Walker Stadium where they've had the majority of the year. Now, we've seen this team regular season just a few years ago that had just an incredible home record and then unfortunately was not able to get to Omaha, could not get by the NC State Wolfpack. You don't want to be in that situation again, but it is very difficult right now, no matter the circumstance, to win in Baum-Walker Stadium, and last night was evidence of that once again. Speaking of baseball, do have some unfortunate news to share with you this morning. At the age of 92 years old, Whitey Herzog is dead. Passed away. The legendary, not just Cardinals manager, but was the manager for several MLB teams. I've got a few sound bites I want to play from him this morning amongst various things, because I know a lot of Cardinal fans are having to deal with the news of that this morning or late last night, whenever you heard it. But sad to say that at the age of 92, Whitey Herzog is dead, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, he was the manager of the Cardinals in my childhood, so a lot of people will remember Whitey Herzog for being the manager of the Cardinals, winning a World Series, 3 pennants, and yeah, he's one of the Redcoats for the Cardinals. So I think a name most of our audience will know is Whitey Herzog.
I know we've got questions about what John Calipari's doing, where he's at, what he's been doing. Well, I've got some updates for you. We'll get into the Cal tracker a little later on. I know there's numerous college basketball players that have entered the transfer portal the last couple days, including a prominent point guard from Cameron Indoor Stadium. That would be Mr. Jeremy Roach, who I think Arkansas may have some interest in. I think that he's a guy that you played a couple years ago in San Francisco as a freshman. You also saw him in Bud Walton Arena this year, and hopefully maybe Arkansas is in the running for his services, along with DJ Wagner, along with some other guys that have recently entered the transfer portal, including Billy Richmond, who reopened his recruitment, was committed to the Kentucky Wildcats, and now sounds like that he is going to be looking elsewhere outside of Lexington. Maybe he ends up still going to Lexington, but I don't know if it's going to pan out that way for Mark Pope and the Kentucky Wildcats. And we got some perspective yesterday from Richard Davenport, who joined us in his typical slot at 6:30, just a day earlier. We're going to talk with Travis Branham this morning, 247 Sports, 24/7 Sports, however you want to say it. He is their national basketball recruiting guy. He's got a good pulse on what's going on in the college basketball circuit, so he is going to join us coming up momentarily in just a bit at 7:20. So if you missed that conversation, you can find it in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. And as it always on a Wednesday, it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. So if you have something that's been ticking you off, hacking you off, just pushing you to your limits, jump in here on the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963 as we get into several of those throughout the morning. I want to talk about car insurance going up. I haven't gotten in a wreck. I haven't gotten a ticket. I haven't done anything lately. And yet my insurance increased like $30 for a month for no good reason. Makes no sense to me. It was explained to me that apparently insurance companies lost billions and billions of dollars last year, and now I am going to have to deal with those costs and deal with those repercussions, which is quite annoying. Also, we've got some golf news. Rory McIlroy reportedly is looking at LIV. He balked at that report, or not balked. He actually kind of went at that report and rebuked it. So curious to see if there's anything there to Rory McIlroy and LIV. I saw that Scotty Scheffler was another favorite for the PGA Championship coming up in May, as heavy as Tiger Woods has been for quite some time. The Masters ratings came out. They were not good Tommy. They were not good at all, and I'm curious where golf goes from here, as we've been discussing kind of off air this week.
Well, they're not going to quit playing. The question is, what happens when their next TV contracts come up? Where's the money come from then? That's a big part of the question.
Yeah.
So they are making. I mean, I saw what was the graphic I saw. Scotty Scheffler's made like $15 million in 5 weeks just on the course or something. I mean, the money is stupid.
Yeah, it is. I saw that. I'm forgetting if it was. I don't know if it was Cameron. One of the caddies recently had to drop off for a PGA player, and he pulled an older caddy for the Masters that it was either semi-retired or retired. And the guy made like $82,000 this weekend over the course of 4 or 5 days, and that is not just the professionals that make that.
One of the local guys.
Yeah, and not just the professional golfers that make insane money, but can you imagine making nearly 6 figures over 1 weekend? I mean, it's remarkable. That money just is it's insane to me.
Well, that commonly occurs. It occurs every week on the PGA Tour and the major championships. The caddies traditionally get 10% of whatever the earnings of the player are. And I know you say you earn it over 3 days or 4 days rather. Live Tour, I guess it's 3 days, but that money's earned on the range. That money's earned on the putting green. That money's not just earned during the tournament too. So
it's on seven.
There's a lot of work that goes in.
Yeah. Plenty different spots. So we have plenty to discuss here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Again, if you want to jump in this, feel free to out. We're going to hear from Dave Van Horn, some of his thoughts on the game last night, which, based on what I was watching, I thought that there was going to be a frustrated Dave Van Horn in the press conference, and he kind of was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be this happy if things hadn't gone according to plan, as they did last night. Some, again, key plays for this Arkansas baseball team getting a midweek win over the Texas Tech Red Raiders. So as we roll along this morning. Tommy, how's Orlando, man? Did you make it in safe? All right, I guess you can't hear me. So we'll get Tommy's connection sorted out later on in the show. I know he's probably dealing with some internet issues down there because they probably don't have great internet in Florida, if I had to guess. So, again, a lot to discuss here on the Morning Rush as we continue on here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. And if you want to call or text in, you can do so. I also want to ask you, I actually got a tax refund. I was surprised by that. Tommy and I agree wholeheartedly about paying for a good account, and a good account pays for itself. I want to ask you this morning, as we get into our Morning Rush Daily Question coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, what are you spending your tax refund on? What are you spending your money on? Are you just investing it? Or are you actually going to spend it on something you want? We'll get into all that this morning here as we are here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Stay with us right here. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the brand new Hit That Line Now app.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Join the March Mayhem and catch every game at 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith. Open 7 days a week with daily specials. Enjoy bowling on one of their 14 lanes. Play pool on one of their 13 tables. Sit at the deluxe bar and indulge on gourmet food while the kids play at the fun arcade. Let the madness begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith. Come for the food, but stay for the fun.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
First of all, I really don't give a flying flip about what people in Kentucky think. They're like Texas fans to me. Let them rot in hell.
Swing and a fly ball in a deep left field. Back is Woodcock. You gotta get out of here. It's a 2-run homer by McLaughlin.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
And we welcome you back here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, where someone is going to have to explain to me why my insurance has gone up $30 a month and I haven't done jack squat in the last year or so. But
That's all? That's all it's went
car
up?
insurance, how much has yours gone up?
Oh, more than that. I mean, my homeowner's insurance doubled, more than doubled. I had to shop around to only pay double this last year.
That's see, that would annoy me. And I'm
It
looking
went from this will really annoy you. It went from $2,300 to $4,600 or $700 a year.
and nothing happened to your house in that time frame except that.
Nope.
Okay.
No claims, no nothing.
Yep, that sounds about right when it comes to that. Apparently, Arkansas, I was doing some research on this. I'm forgetting the source, but Arkansas is one of the most expensive states in terms of home insurance. What I wouldn't think that would be the case. It's in the top 10, Tommy. Average is a little over 3,300. Is that because it's in like Tornado Alley or what? Why do you think that
Hailstorms.
is? Hailstorms.
Well,
okay.
I can tell you, we've had a lot of hailstorms in the last 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, you think insurance is free. It's not. Eventually, when you have a lot of claims, you pay up at the premium pump. Hey, I tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be a great month for some bass fishing. It's going to be a great time to have that Yum Dinger from Pradco out there. 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes. They make them by the truckloads right here in Arkansas. And with that famous Yum Dinger, the Elder Magic, you can work it on a wacky rigging. And I think when that full moon hits, that water temperature gets up a few more degrees, you're going to love the results. It's the Yum Dinger. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger by Pradco.
So we got someone listening in Glasgow, Scotland, as they texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Tommy, I had a friend of college that went there, or a friend that went there for college. I'm forgetting the institution where it's there. Now, is your piece of land in Ireland or Scotland?
I believe it's in Scotland.
It's in Scotland?
I need to go look. My square foot.
Your square foot that we
yeah, you haven't addressed me as Lord Craft lately. I need to clean that up.
Well,
so
it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but that is I did see that text and I was like, I can't remember if he had that land in Scotland or Ireland, but
well, let me run down to the bank and get in the safety deposit box and find my deed to my square foot. I'll clear that up for you.
Make sure that's in the lockbox when it comes to
that.
that.
Absolutely.
It is something special and it's something that you need to take care of. Oh, well,
I need to put that on my financial statement. I'm sure that's going to add a lot of net worth to my totals.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you sound better. Did you make it safe to Orlando?
We made it. I'm telling you, it was just a hell of a travel day. It didn't have delays, didn't have issues. It was just people. You get off a plane, folks, you need to not look at your phone and just stand in the middle of the concourse or the jetway. People get. I mean, you put this phone in your face and it's like you deduct 50 IQ points. It is I don't know. It was a busy travel day. We didn't have any flight delays or anything, but it was just dealing with people was tough.
Are airport people the worst type of people? I mean, it's got to be up there. I
think it's up there. Yeah.
I think opposing fan bases when you go to their venue have to be up there, and maybe their excessiveness on what they do with certain things. But airport people, I'm like you, they drive me nuts. Like when I'm exiting an airplane, I want to get out of there as fast as possible. I'm not claustrophobic by any means. Like airplanes don't really bother me that much. I know for some they can't fly or they hate flying, or it's just a part of whatever they have to deal with. But when people exit the terminal or whatever, just trying to get out, some people walk as slow as molasses. And it's not like they're old.
Yes.
I understand, like, you're a little frail, you're a little fragile, a little feeble. I get that. But when you're like my age and you're walking as slow as molasses, that was a beef of mine this weekend. Just trying to get to my destination and people were just slothing around. Trust me, I'm with you 100% there.
Now, you're not one of these guys that when the plane pulls to the gate and they turn off the fasten seatbelt, like you're not trying to run up the aisle to think you're going to save a bunch of time.
No, I stay seated.
You wait your turn.
I stay seated until the seats above me are starting to move a little bit. Then I'll start to kind of because it doesn't do anything. Standing up in the aisle, whatever, and I usually let the aisle across from me go first so there's no confusion. We're not bumping into each other. But no, that's just stupidity. I mean, you're not going to move. You'll have maybe a second or two you shave off by doing that.
So there's always someone on the flight that's doing that. So I'm the guy that I like to stand up the aisle and keep them from going anywhere. Because, listen, I would love to run up the aisle, but I was on a flight a while back. This lady, she got up and was literally before the seatbelt light ran up the aisle. She gained maybe 4 or 5 rows. Like, you idiot, you know. So you're right. You're not going to get off the plane, but I need to get up and stretch my legs. You know, that's the thing. I like the aisle seat because I can get up and when the flight's over and I can at least stand. I don't, but you're right. Running up the aisle is not going to save you any time.
No, it doesn't.
There's always that one.
It doesn't that much. That is the flight. Any kind of travel delay is definitely a beef. I mentioned the insurance though. Jamie texting in on the McLarty Daniel hotline saying all insurance is a racket. I just again, I got explained to me by my insurance agent that insurance company lost billions of dollars this past year, and that everyone's dealing with it. And I just like, cry me a river. Like mine went up. What is that? 120. I mean, mine went up. What is that? 25%. And I didn't, again, no claims, no wrecks, no nothing. And then I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to compartmentalize and understand that I'm supposed to go along with the idea that, insurance companies lost money, so my insurance has to go up 25%. That doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
It's because everybody else had. Well, I mean, it's the cost of everything, Ty. I mean, I'm with you. It sucks, and it stinks when you're paying more, not getting any more. But the cost of a car has went up. The cost of getting a car repaired, the cost of everything has gone up. So they gotta raise them rates to, I guess, keep make sure they get their reward bonuses and their travel cruise, their travels on those cruises and trips and everything. So,
I guess they have.
But hey, gotta have it. And I'm gonna tell you, when you someday when you own a home and you do have a hailstorm, or you do have some wind damage, or God forbid a fire or something, a good insurance agent and a good company behind that agent is priceless. And because I've been there before when we've had a water leak, or we've had some kind of issue, and a good agent and a good policy can't be beat. So.
Well,
trust me, someday you'll figure that out.
I'll appreciate it
when you become a proud homeowner.
Yeah, down the road at some point.
Hey, brought to you by the Fence Man. You can insure that fence someday, Ty, right around your property. Insure that fence and be ready to go with a great-looking backyard. The Fence Man can do that for you. 782-3936 is the number for the Fence Man. Anything involving fencing, gates, powered automatic gates, controlled access, they do. Custom projects are no problem either with the Fence Man. 782-3936. Call the Fence Man, and they'll be on their way to give you a free custom quote for your property and your project. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, we're going to fire up the Cal Tracker when we come back. Where was John Calipari last night? We'll tell you next.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
I love the show, guys. Listen to you every morning.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
On Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., NAFI and local law enforcement will host DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day at locations across the region. Take-Back Day offers free and anonymous disposal of unneeded medications at close to 5,000 local drop-off locations nationwide. Join us at Harrison City Hall, Boone County Sheriff Department, Mountain Home Police Department, or Tractor Supply and Mountain Home. For more information, contact Kyle Evett at 870-391-3367.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Advanced Mechanical Performance, your premier UTV, off-road, truck, and Jeep repair facility. Whether it's a lift kit, an oil change, or a complete makeover of your machine, go see Cody and the gang at AMP and get it right the first time. These guys know what they're doing and are doing what they know. Advanced Mechanical Performance, 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Call them today at 434-4161.
The adventure starts at Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
We all know those tackle places we find along streams and rivers that we just have to stop in and check out their lures. Kind of off the beaten path and probably a little rustic. Well, we have that same kind of place right here in the heart of Fort Smith. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been serving up all the supplies and equipment you could ever think of and more. The Tackle Box, 3001 Street, Fort Smith.
The adventure starts at Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
First pitch is hit high in the air by Holt to deep left. Back goes Petrus. That ball's out of here. Peyton Holt has tied the game with a 2-out home run in the 9th inning.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
So a lot of questions on the McLarty Daniel Hotline the last handful of days has been the whereabouts of John Calipari. Well, we're going to turn our Cal tracker on in just a sec. Give me an update of where he was last night, some of the guys that he may be on to adding to this basketball team coming up in just one sec, Tommy.
You were talking about your beefs. There's nothing worse than being at the gym and someone's taking their sweet time on the treadmill, or you can't get on your favorite piece of equipment because your gym's overcrowded. Yeah, you're paying $10, but what are you getting for it? You're not getting to work out the way you want. Why don't you work out a gym where you can, I don't know, work out? So let's go to the Hangout. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. They offer much more than the average gym. It's an 8,000 square foot fitness facility with everything you need, everything you want, never long lines for any of the equipment you need to use. Plus, they have indoor tennis, pickleball, outdoor courts as well. They've got a full basketball court. You were mentioning the sauna earlier. They've got those, steam rooms, all of that stuff. So if you're looking for a gym with all the amenities and everything you need, even help with your racket game, or maybe you need a personal trainer and some help with your fitness, they have that as well. It's all at the Hangout with affordable individual and family membership plans. Go to thehangoutfs.com for more details. That's thehangoutfs.com, or 5400 Gary Street. It's the old athletic club or racket club you may know it as. It's now called the Hangout. Be a part of something different, something better, something you're going to love, something Fort Smith has needed. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
So the Overtime Elite Combine was in Atlanta, Georgia last night as we fire up the Cal Tracker. Several players, several prominent high school players were there, including Carter Knox, one of the guys that you were on, Samoto Sentinel, I think is how you say his name, another former Kentucky commit, and John Calipari in attendance. Now, this was kind of funny last night. He's still kind of donning the Kentucky blue. Maybe he needs to change his wardrobe a little bit.
All right, man, I just wish I could play in Coach K.
Yeah, in the blue blazer. In the blue
You need
blazer.
to have some red
The blue
on.
blazer is crazy.
The blue blazer.
Crazy.
That's the
He
same
ain't changed
one.
the closet yet. He got the old closet.
He's got the old closet on, Tommy. There's video circulating of Cal in blue and walking around, talking and watching some of these outstanding high school kids, and Bruce Pearl and some other prominent head basketball coaches, not just in the SEC, but across college basketball with there. I remember a conversation that we had a couple years ago, and I believe it was on what's that kid's name? Chris Moore. What's the Morris kid from Auburn that ended up electing to go to Auburn, and Cal and Pearl and Muss, and I think Penny Hardaway were on him. And the thing was that, like, as good as recruiters was, those were guys you really, really respected on the college basketball circuit. But now you have the most polarizing, most revered recruiter in the sport on your staff and coaching for your institution, that it really doesn't matter the kid. Tommy, you honestly feel like you got a shot at anyone in the country out of the portal, out of high school, because that's who John Calipari is.
Yeah. And I don't care if he's wearing red, blue, green. You know, I prefer not to wear LSU purple, but I don't really care what color he's recruiting in. Just go get those kids, because I know who's giving him his paycheck now, and I know where his loyalties reside for today. So, yeah, I mean, these are the kids you're after. These are the kids you're now in on a legitimate conversation with, Ty, and even as good as Eric Musselman was, and Eric Musselman was a great coach and brought back and kind of awoke the sleeping giant. Now you got a legitimate shot at not just one or two of these kids, every one of them. You got a legitimate shot at. That's exciting to me.
Yeah. Here is one of the high school players that was there getting interviewed last night. I love how he framed. Listen, his name is Amari Evans. I love how he framed what John Calipari was doing in attendance last night. Now, Kentucky is still after a couple of guys that were decommitted or have gotten out of their national letter of intent, including Carter Knox, who I mentioned, who has Chicken Man in his bio. Read between the lines there, and then also Samoto Cyril, who I just mentioned as well. But listen to Amari Evans and what he had to say about Cal and what he was doing last night in attendance.
Coach Cal show was Arkansas gear on here. He's moving crazy. He coming to get Carter and Santo. Business. I'm coming in here to get my players.
He means business. He's going to get his guys that were originally slated to play in Lexington, Kentucky. And they could still do that if their heart desires. If they still want to be Big Blue, I think people would understand that. But that's like the cachet that he has when he walks into a building, is he's going to get his dudes. And more often than not, he gets those guys. So, I put the over-under yesterday at 7, and maybe 6.5 is a better number. That way you go above or below. But I really don't think that's out of the realm of possibility that he gets like 7 or 8 a former of his commits and players, and guys still have decisions to make. We know Bradshaw is going up to Ohio State. to play in Columbus, but there hasn't been a lot of transition in terms of like where guys have picked their destinations. Outside of that, just did see, again, I mentioned Billy Richmond, who was originally committed to Kentucky, just decommitted yesterday, and he's reopened his commitment. He's a 5-star forward from New Jersey. So while a lot of these kids, Tommy, aren't necessarily close to Arkansas, definitely Fayetteville is still in consideration with the head basketball coach that has taken over.
Yeah, and as we said, and this cuts both ways. We need to understand this because down the road this will work against you, perhaps. Perhaps. These kids committed to Cal, not to Kentucky, and they're not committed to Arkansas as much as we'd like to think. We need to remember this. This can't go both ways. These kids are committing to Cal. Now, Cal's our guy now, and we need to enjoy it, and it's going to last for a little while. It won't last forever. But let's always remember that, this is why you're paying a coach twice as much as you've ever paid anybody, essentially, to coach here. But these kids, as much as we want to think they're committing to that Razorback logo, they're committing to that coach, and I'm okay with that. We just need to understand those are the rules right now.
And I think with Cal, I think what's important to monitor with how he goes about it is there's several freshmen. Like, he had 6 freshmen committed to him at Kentucky. I would be more in favor of him getting guys like Jeremy Roach, who just entered the transfer portal, the Duke point guard that averaged, I think, 14 and 4 this last season. And evidently, according to the New York Times and Adam Zagoria, Arkansas is one of the leaders, along with Kentucky and St. John's right now, to maybe get Jeremy Roach. So the transfers, if you watch Kentucky in the NCAA tournament game, they had 2 guys that actually had good games. Antonio Reeves, who was a 5th-year guy, and then I think Justin Edwards was their post player that had a really good game. Both were 5th years. You're going to have freshmen on this roster, but getting guys like Big Z, getting guys maybe like DJ Wagner, who has a year under his belt in the conference, that's who I'm more interested in. I mean, you can have the flash and pizzazz of the freshmen, but time again, and not just in Lexington, this isn't a shot at Cal, but you watch these teams that have numerous freshmen on the roster that maybe have some success in the regular season, it just doesn't compute postseason anymore. Look at Purdue and Connecticut this year. Klingon, Noon, Spencer. I mean, those rosters, you look at Lawyer, you look at Edey. I mean, those rosters are littered with juniors, seniors, 5th-year guys. It's rare, and there's a freshman here. I think Claxton was the freshman for Connecticut. There's freshmen that can get playing time, but rare is it that you're going to go far in the NCAA tournament in today's age of college basketball with freshmen. That's why I hope Cal puts more emphasis on that side of things, where you're getting some of these transfer guys.
Yeah, it's got to be a mix. I mean, I think that's what we've seen, but there's certain things and certain pieces that got to go into that. A big true 5 or 2, maybe 3, probably not more than 3, have to be part of what you're doing. Great guard play. Would you say Arkansas was too guard heavy last year, and then we just didn't have enough real 4s and 5s? This wasn't the right mix of players. I'm not sure you had a bunch of bad players. They just didn't mix well together. So I'm not sure that you missed a ton. I think you had some guys that weren't as athletic as you needed. Those are the things you can't miss on. But, man, you're picking at the cream of the crop. You're selecting from the top with what Cal's going after. But it's still, you can't just go get the 12 most talented basketball players or 13 most talented basketball players. There's got to be the right mix of the parts and the pieces you need. So, I mean, Cal knows that. We just need to all know that.
And that is, again, the first addition to this roster, Big Z. You will see some other additions. I think this week it's just Wednesday morning at 6:39. By the end of the week, I wouldn't be surprised if you had 2 or 3 that have been added to this roster. There's still some things they probably got to work out, not just the NIL and various things. I know Boogie Flan, who was the 5-star guard that had committed to Kentucky, talked about NIL is not the only thing he's focused on, but definitely a thing. And according to multiple reports, Arkansas is going to have plenty of NIL money and maybe even more if it continues on that direction. So that's the Cal tracker of sorts. We will keep you updated on the Morning Rush Halftime and Ruskin and Zach with the guys that are either getting looked at, reportedly looked at, or also added to this roster, Tommy, as it has been hot and heavy. No one seems to. I got asked this week on a national radio show or national podcast about like what's been going on in Arkansas in the spring game, the #1 baseball team that's been #2. The hottest thing right now in Arkansas sports is this basketball team. It's not even close.
No, you're right. It's #1, #2, and maybe number 3 right now. All right, the Cow Tracker this morning is brought to you by the Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com, and by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
So late Jack Buck and now the late Whitey Herzog, former Cardinals manager, passed away at the age of 92, were part of a couple different iconic beer commercials. And we think about the Clydesdales with Budweiser nowadays, but back then it was Whitey and it was Jack.
Whitey is going to give us a little clinic on some of his secret baseball tactics. It's just coaching, Jack, how to pick up the signs.
You got nobody out and a man on first. Let me use this Cold Bush beer here for the batter. Now, if I only need one run, I'm going to give him this.
That's the bunt sign.
If I need a bunch of runs, I may give him this.
That's the hit and run.
You got it, Jack.
No, Whitey, you got it. That's my Bush.
You know what this is?
Oh.
That is the take sign.
One of the legendary commercials that Anheuser-Busch has come up with.
Forgotten about those.
I know, and I'm watching. So
you probably never knew about them until you looked it up.
And that's the cool part. So I knew who Whitey Herzog was. I'm not a Cardinals fan. I know he at one point was on with the Royals, but MLB doesn't get me like it does many of you. So I'm watching these different memory videos this morning. I'm watching the Cardinals win the World Series in 1982. They won the pennant both times in his career. But the biggest thing that stood out to me was that commercial, just because I knew, like you, there would be so many of our audience members this morning that would remember that commercial specifically. And it was well put together. I know you heard the audio, but even the visual aspect really just adds to it. That they had, I know they had fun making that commercial back in the day.
Yeah, Clay will be along in the third hour, and he'll have some memories of Whitey Herzog. I wish Chuck was around today, and we'll ask him tomorrow about Whitey Herzog, being the Cardinal fan he is. I remember being a Braves fan as a kid. He had Joe Torre was the manager of my team then, and I grew up a Braves fan. They were terrible, but I remember going to a game at St. Louis. We loved the Braves. We'd go out maybe to see the Braves in Atlanta once a year, and then at old Fulton County, and then we'd go up to St. Louis a time or two. And my dad loved baseball. He loved the Cardinals. So going up to St. Louis and the old Busch Stadium was something we did usually once a summer. Sometimes we'd go to see the Royals. But I remember Whitey Herzog and, just the reverence the fans had for him. And it was fun when I was a kid watching those games. And I remember that, those series with Joe Torre on one side and him on the other. And usually the Cardinals got the better of the Braves back in those days, but got them that World Series. So
and it was
three pennants he got also.
Correct.
For them.
The 82 World Series and the pennants in both 85 and 87. So I know, again, a lot of sad Cardinal fans here this morning. We'll talk with Chuck more about that tomorrow. But in addition to the funny beer commercials, the World Series win, I also like this soundbite that he had. And you know how baseball managers used to be? Some of them are still like that today, but coaching has changed, not just in the college circuit, but the professional side. When you hear someone talk like this, it just kind of brings you back.
When I went out to take snacks out, I said, David, I said, if that had been a cheeseburger, you wouldn't have dropped it. And we had a laugh about it. It's not funny when you're losing a World Series game that you had pretty well in hand, but that's the kind of players I had. They like to, be loose, and you had to keep them loose. And I knew if I didn't let them be loose, as young as we were at certain places, we had a lot of young ball players on that team.
He had some good acquisitions over his time.
Cheeseburger, you wouldn't have dropped it.
I know.
That's great.
And like you say that to a
Classic.
kid, you say that to a kid today, he gets offended, he cries to his mom. But that was just like the everyday vernacular of not just a baseball manager. And trust me, it was much worse. It was much worse. I've talked to a former player or two, and some of the things that you've heard from former Razorbacks that did things in the professional team. Some of the stuff that was said to them cannot be repeated on air this morning. That's more just fun, but that was the type of manager he was for not just the Cardinals, but other organizations too.
If that was a cheeseburger, you wouldn't have dropped it. I love it.
It's a great line.
Yeah. So Whitey Herzog has passed away, and for Cardinal fans this morning, you'll remember the good times with him, and his memory, and that's one thing the Cardinal organization does well. They honor their greats. They have the red coat tradition, And while Whitey won't be there at the ball games anymore, obviously, his memory will last on, and he'll be out there and be memorialized forever with the Cardinals. So.
As Dave Van Horn will be whenever he decides to hang it up. This baseball team somehow, some way, after being down 7-0, got it done last night. Here's DVH on the win against the Red Raiders.
Yeah, obviously that was a really good win for our team, especially the way it finished up in Tuscaloosa and not swinging the bats at all, and then getting down today like we did 6-0. Just proud of our guys, man. They rallied and just kept going, and found a way to win against a team that can really hit. We got our hands full again tomorrow.
You give 6 runs up in the second inning. Bobby's been good in midweek games, and for whatever reason, he was off last night, and it was just one of the oddest baseball games you'll ever watch. There was a 6-run second inning and a 6-run fifth inning, one for the Hogs, one for the Red Raiders. And Tommy, they haven't been behind a ton in Baum-Walker Stadium this year for an extended amount of innings, and they found themselves in a situation where, like you kind of mentioned before the show, they could have been run-ruled in their own ballpark last night.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about until the bottom of the fifth. And I was on text group, and I heard Carl Ravitch. It's a big-time midweek game when Carl Ravitch and KP are there, and mentioned that, hey, Tech gets a 10-run lead, this thing is over. And I'd forgotten, yeah, man, that's a non-conference game. That's how it would work. And I was a little bit concerned at that point. Now, obviously, Arkansas rallied and answered, and I never really felt from that point on, even after they went back up a run, I always felt like Arkansas would find a way to win that game. But, boy, until the bottom of the fifth, I was worried you were going to get embarrassed. I don't know that Arkansas has ever been run-ruled in their own park. They were down one, maybe not ever anywhere. I'm not sure. There was a note in the game story from the university that they were down 10-1 at Louisiana Tech back in 2017. You may have it in front of you. I'm just trying to remember
That's
this.
Correct.
And rallied back. And I remember listening to that game. In fact, I can tell you where I was and where I was on the interstate listening when that occurred, because it was such a shock to be behind like that to a team like Louisiana Tech, who's a very good program. But so it was, I don't want to say monumental, but it was very noteworthy last night, the kind of comeback they, the hole they dug themselves out of, and the win last night. I don't know that this is, people talk about, well, what this win means, and it doesn't mean anything other than it's a win right now. This isn't a turnaround moment. I've seen some people mention that. Just because you lost a series at Alabama doesn't mean the season needs to be turned around. So I don't want to overstate the importance. It was just a good non-conference win last night.
Yeah, and it was encouraging to see the bats wake up a little bit. The guy that I think I didn't see the video, but I'm assuming here in the Gorilla Head last night was Ben McLaughlin, who hit a key 2-run shot last night.
McLaughlin leans back and waits on the 3-2 pitch from Luce. Swing and a fly ball into deep left field. Back is Woodcocks. You got to get out of here. It's a 2-run homer by McLaughlin, and the Hogs are down by 1.
It's encouraging, not just, again, as a team, but to see him. McLaughlin hasn't hit as well in SEC play as he was originally. So I know for a confidence standpoint, but Arkansas, again, has so many weapons that you're just hoping all connect at the right time. And whether it's McLaughlin, Stovall, I know Diggs was not playing last night. He's injured. Dave Van Horn kind of gave us a timeline about that. Hopefully he practices on Thursday, and then he plays on Friday. If he's not 100%, he's not going to play him. But, Tommy, the good thing is if you do guys are out like Diggs last night, I know Dietz is still coming back from injury at pitcher. You've had several guys this season that have stepped up when called upon, and several guys were able to do that once again last night.
Well, you got depth. This team, I mean, that's not even much of a conversation about the depth of this program right now and where it's at. But, McLaughlin has that big hit. No, don't forget Aloy's double before that. I mean, there were several heroes in that fifth inning. Aloy's double was just as critical and just as big maybe as McLaughlin's home run. I know it's the highlight because it left the yard, but there were several big things that happened in that inning.
Yeah, and there's so many different things that if they didn't bounce your way, you would have lost that game last night. End of the day, though, it's a midweek game against Tech, who is not your average midweek opponent, but it's not the end of the world. They got to get that done today. You'd love to win 2 of 2 and keep the win streak going. Today at 4 o'clock on the SEC Network, you mentioned Carl Ravage. He'll be back on the call with Kyle Peterson, who I think Kyle's fantastic. I think he's as good. I think he's as good as an analyst, not just in his own sport in baseball, but in any sport in general. I really do enjoy listening to him time and time again.
I was traveling. I was listening to Phil a little bit coming in on the phone, and then I flipped over and watched it on TV. And I heard him talk about being out with Jimmy Dykes, meeting Jimmy's mama, and they went to where was it? He said they went to they ate at the Black Bear Diner, but went to Sassy's. That's what it was. He was telling Kyle about going to Sassy's, and I have not been to that Black Bear Diner, but we've all been to Sassy's, and what Carl Ravage was having to say was absolutely right. So.
I meant to text Alan that last night because I heard that same thing you did, but I was half asleep and my phone was 5 feet away, and I was just like, I'm not moving. I'm going to turn this TV.
5 whole feet.
Yeah. Well, I was again when it hits 8:30, I am ready to roll. I took my not my Ambien, but my what is it called? The magnesium and melatonin combo. One is kind of a caramel flavor, and the other is a gummy. And once I take both of those, within 5 minutes, I can't do anything. So once I pop those in at 8:30, I'm ready to go to bed. So I did not.
Sure, that's a melatonin gummy.
Melatonin and magnesium. It's a magnesium.
Is it not a different kind of gummy?
No, it's no. We can't do that according to my contract. We maybe readjust that.
Son, you don't have a contract.
This next go around.
You're day to day.
Well, we probably need to figure that out too. Let's just be perfectly honest. But yes, that once I pop those in, that's good. I still don't sleep well, and it's not sleep apnea as I learned a couple weeks ago. I just can't sleep for jack, and I don't know if it's ever gonna.
I'm afraid I wouldn't wake up if I took one of them melatonin deals. I mean, I need to try one on the weekend, I guess. I seriously worry. I mean, that's the greatest fear of any morning radio man is oversleeping. Well, it's all it happens, but I mean, that is the I worry I wouldn't wake up.
I have 4 alarms set. I have an analog alarm next to and I have 3 phone alarms. So if I can't wake up, I probably don't deserve to get up that morning. For being honest.
Well, we got to get a contract done. We got to go to the Hickey and Hull Law Partners. They're in Mena, they're in Little Rock, they're in Rogers in Northwest Arkansas, and they're in Fort Smith as well. So wherever you're listening this morning, if you have a legal need, whether it's a contract or whether it's a family law case, a custody case, maybe a criminal matter, they're there for you. They've got over 7 decades of combined experience to put to work for you. And they're going to be on your side, fighting aggressively for you from your corner. You need someone to represent you that knows how and wants to be there for you. 479-434-2414. Give Kevin or Brad a call and arrange a meeting and sit down and talk about your needs and your case. 479-434-2414 or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
All right, it's hour number 2 coming up in just a bit. I've got some more beefs I've got as Tommy does on the Morning Rush.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sácale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sácale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world.
Straight. Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
All right, so we got a lot of things to discuss in hour 2 of What's Your Beef Wednesday. We got our beefs, and I've got a couple that I've got jotted down. One has to do with travel. Tommy, I hope that you did not have to deal with the dog pooping on your plane, because evidently this one United Airlines flight had to deplane because of the smell, and I'm going to tell you about that coming up. Baseball team.
Heard about this.
Yeah, baseball team ends up winning last night after being down 7-0. I don't know how 7-0. And somehow, some way they came.
7-0, as Chuck would tell you. 7-0.
I said 7-0, 7-0. I'm trying to mix my soccer vernacular and nil and change it to nothing. It's not 0. I did learn that last week or earlier this week, but they end up winning last night, coming from behind as they've done often this season. And then basketball, Cal's whereabouts. I know you want to know what's going on with them. Travis Branham. 24/7 Sports national basketball analyst is going to join us in about 20 minutes and give an update on John Calipari and some potential Arkansas prospects that could get added to the fold too.
Hey, APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they have immediate openings in Northwest Arkansas, also North Central Arkansas. If you're a licensed CDL driver, a heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, you've got experience in a quarry, you've got experience with asphalt or concrete, they have jobs available for you. You probably see APAC's vehicles on the roads all the time, making great roads for us to drive on. They do so many great things to improve our life every day and the way we get from A to B all the time. Go to jobs.crh.com. You'll be impressed with the variety of positions, also not just a variety, but also the locations. You'll see that interactive map, and you can zero in on Washington County or Benton County, or if you're in Marion, Boone, or Baxter County, and those areas as well. Top pay, great benefits, sign-on bonus, insurance, retirement, profit sharing. This is a great company to work for. Apply online, jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they are equal opportunity employers.
What is wrong with you? I want to complain. I'm complaining.
I want to complain about complaining.
I want to complain.
It really pisses me off today.
To simply listen to people whine and complain.
But I'm angry. I'm spitting angry. I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about. My heart rate is dangerously high right now.
I'm complaining because not enough people tickle, hug, or smile.
I'm so mad I could eat ball bearings and crap baby. It's time for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
The smell didn't quite go away. That was the headline of a United Airlines flight that had to land in Dallas after leaving Houston because of a dog that had a messy accident in first class and leaves Houston on the way to Seattle, doesn't make it to Seattle because of what the dog did. And after the ground crew tried to clean it for 2 hours, paper towels, the smell evidently was still there and still had to deal with it. Several passengers complained, and they had to deal with that. I have never, ever in my wildest dreams had that happen to me on a flight. I have delays and stuff, but Tommy, I would guess that rage and anger of most would be at an all-time high if someone's dog did that in their flight, especially going from Houston to Seattle.
Well, first of all, I mean, you only take like a lap dog. You know, it has to fit under your seat and one of them little carriers. I mean, it's not like you brought a Doberman Pinscher on board. So I'm wondering how such a small dog could make such a mighty mess. But clearly it did. But I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why I don't fly first class.
What's worse,
You know,
that
just
or
go Southwest?
a dog barking on a plane? Oh.
Or a kid crying. I don't know. I personally believe dogs and kids should be banned from planes. There was a crying kid on the way from. I'm just speaking the truth, and a lot of you listening, even with kids, are probably nodding silently this morning. Dogs and kids should be banned from planes. There was 2 crying kids in front of me on my flight from Tulsa to Denver, and it's not that far of a flight, but it's still annoying. And so if you're not willing to put whiskey on your kids' gums and make them go to sleep, then don't bring them on the plane. I'll stand alone on that island if I have to, but it drives me up a wall. That's another beef of mine is crying kids on the plane because there's nowhere to go. And you could be listening to music, you could have noise canceling headphones, and you're still some way gonna hear those kids crying over and over again.
So, the crying Kentucky fans last week, we weren't going to let them on planes. What about them?
Well, most of them are scared of flights. They're scared of flying. They have I don't know what a phobia that is, but they're scared to begin with. So I'm not worried about that. They get in their hatchbacks and drive from Lexington or various pockets within Kentucky.
RB on the McLarty Daniel hotline says, Ty, you may be alone for a long time.
Crying kid. I'm talking about crying kids.
Yeah. Your take on the kids. He said, your single status may last a while.
Well,
I think is what he's saying.
By choice. Let's see. We've got some others. Tim from Pennsylvania says a service dog can be full size. Tommy, I did not know that. So if you have a service dogs, you can definitely bring that on the plane. Scott from Westbrook chimes in and says small things can cause big problems. Asking, and when you were talking about a dog, Coach Barrett from Cossatot River did you just read that or no? You had another. You said JB. He said smoking like a man with no kids.
Exactly right.
Annie in Mountain Home says I'm with you, Ty. I agree with you. Joe in Prairie Grove says it's amazing that you're still single. It's one of the wonders of the
sarcasm
world.
at all.
None at all. Justin says that I should put on my AirPods. AirPods still don't. I mean, they don't drown out the crying kids. So be honest. Most of you, if you're being honest, well, that hurts my ears. My ears are my livelihood, so I have to have those, and I can't balance. My ears and my mouth and my voice are my livelihood.
They're your instrument, right?
Yeah,
they're
my
your instrument.
If I lose them, then I'm in trouble because I have
you lose that, we all lose.
I have no skills whatsoever outside of this job, and most would tell you that I don't have any skills from 6 to 9 to begin with. But if I lose my ears or my voice, I legitimately have no idea what I'm going to do.
I thought it was your hair that was your instrument. Now, which is it?
That's an amenity of sorts, or that's a addition, something that I can enjoy. But it's not. It's not a.
You're losing that amenity every day. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking biotin now, so I started using that shampoo last night. So hopefully,
you might want to put some there on the front of that forehead.
Well, yeah, I just have a big head to begin with, so when the balding starts, and I think I got it from my father. My dad has a big forehead too, but. That being said, I did start my biotin shampoo, and I've taken biotin pills the last couple of weeks, so I'm hoping that the hair loss subsides. We'll have to wait and see.
All right. Well, we got more What's Your Beef Wednesday coming up. We're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. I promise you're going to have a great experience every time you go to Wheels RV. That's one of the reasons they've been voted best of the best year after year. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty with every new RV they sell. It's all at Wheels RV, the best brands. Brinkley RVs are now there, including the Model Z. Grand Design, Forest River, you'll find the best and an award-winning service department that's always there for you. And again, that lifetime warranty. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This PGA Tour moment is brought to you by True Grain.
Greg Norman, Seve Ballesteros, and Augusta native Larry Mize began a sudden death playoff at the 1987 Masters. After Ballesteros was eliminated, missing a 5-foot putt for par on number 10, Mize and Norman moved on to 11. Mize sank a 140-foot chip for an improbable birdie. Norman failed to hole his, and Mize captured his first and only major with one of the most miraculous shots in major championship history.
True Grain, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
I love a beautiful lawn. I hate doing lawn care. That's why I use True Green. They're the official lawn treatment provider of the PGA Tour. We all know those are some nice greens. So just imagine what they could do to your lawn. All you have to do is water and mow. And to top it off, when you sign up for an annual plan by April 20th, get one application free. Visit TrueGreen.com for the best lawn at the best price, guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
Vegas, baby! Vegas, baby!
This is the Morning Rush.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Engagement season is in full swing, and Diamond Center wants to be part of your story. For the entire month of April, we're offering 5 years of 0% interest on purchases. That's right, 5 years, 60 months, 0 interest financing. There has never been a better time to pick out the perfect engagement ring and pop the question. Let Diamond Center help you begin this next step of your journey together with 5 years of 0 interest financing for the entire month of April on all custom design and in-stock pieces of jewelry. Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you've lived in the River Valley for a while, you know about the great reputation of Jam Mart. And their newest location at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith is open. Stop by for coffee, gas, beer, snacks, ices, and a clean restroom every time. Don't forget about the hot deli and fresh-made burgers. Now 7 locations in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Boonville, Ozark, and Danville. Sign up for their loyalty program for discounts throughout the stores. Jam Mart, the leading convenience store and gas station in the region.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
In our last conversation, real quick, before we get into our Morning Rush Daily Question, talking about I'm not in favor of kids or dogs being on planes. Jay chimes in from Cave Springs, Tommy. He says, I used to say those things until I became a parent. Then I used to say, shut that kid up, amongst other things. Then he changed his tune, it sounds like, when he became a father. So maybe I will. Maybe I will change my tune. But for now, as a single male with no kids that I know of, I'm going to stick to what I think about that. All right, it's our Morning Rush Daily Question presented by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. Some of you have gotten your tax refund. I was surprised that I got a tax refund. Luckily, I pay an accountant that knows what he's doing. What is the chuckling?
I got mine done for free, man.
Did you do TurboTax?
I did it. Get your refund or whatever, and I've already got my statement what I'm going to get back and everything.
Nice.
Pretty good sum, man.
Well, that's good. Tommy, did you get a refund, or are you still waiting on your what you're going to get back? No
refund.
Well, that sucks. Well, this question then is for those that got a refund out there. What are you going to spend your refund on? New golf clubs, investing in a house. I was thinking about this. I'm going to try to buy a house by the end of the year, and I could be boring and just stash that money away towards a new house, or I could buy new golf clubs, because I told myself I was going to break 100 for the first time. If I broke 100 for the first time, I would actually invest in some nicer golf clubs than what I have now. And I found out yesterday that I'm actually using a woman's putter, which was not great. My friend.
They weren't supposed to tell you.
My friend grabbed my putter and said, "You realize this is a woman's putter, right?" And I was like, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
And then he showed me, and I was
We've
like,
known for weeks.
And I was like, "Well, that's not good." Luckily enough, I still won a few golf masters with it. But nevertheless, if you got a refund, what are you going to spend it on? I have kicked this around, and I'm still kicking around. It's either going to go towards the house budget, which would be the smart, sensible, non-tie-like thing to do, or it's just going to be invested, and really not invested, thrown away at some golf clubs that I will probably not change my score that much. Any advice as the person that has both a house and golf clubs, what I should do in this situation, Tommy?
Based on me playing golf with you a few times, it's definitely the golf clubs. You
invest in the golf clubs.
Your clubs are, yes, because you spend a lot of time playing golf, so why not enjoy it a little bit more? I mean, you need to get new clubs that are properly fitted. It's too bad the joke's up, because we were all having fun with that women's putter and seeing how long it would take you to notice. Need to see who wins the board on that. But no, I mean, you spend a lot of time playing golf, so you should have good equipment to enjoy it more, and then actually take some lessons. Take the rest of the money you have left over and invest it in lessons, because you need them.
Investments are supposed to pay off, right? And I don't know.
Yeah,
spending the money on
pay
golf.
off. The dividend is enjoyment.
Well,
Trust me, when you break 90 for the first time, you'll really be hooked.
All right, let's see. Andy chimes in and says a refund is a small interest-free loan to the government.
He's exactly right.
JT in Hot Springs, what's he saying? All small business owners, they're saying tax refund. What's a tax refund? Kind of like you said. Justin in Fayetteville saying,
if you get anything back, your accountant says, yeah, you just want to apply that to next year's tax debt. And Andy's right. It's not a refund. It's a refund of your money. They're giving you your money back. You're not getting it from the government. It's your money. Understand that.
Okay. Justin Fayetteville says, as a former golf pro, if you want to drop 5 to 10 strokes immediately off your game, get fitted for a custom set of irons. He says to invest the money. Jay in Cave Spreed said safer house. If a girl's putter works, who cares? Well, the thing is,
it doesn't work though. That's the problem.
It doesn't work that great to begin with. But again,
I don't think we're going to find out though. The immediate returns or the immediate dividend is not going to be the new equipment. It's the guy swinging the club.
Yeah, and that guy has a long way to go, even though he had his best round this weekend in Bozeman. That's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It is presented by our friends.
Doesn't count.
No, it wasn't putt-putt. That's what the joke Chuck made. That frankly, that pissed me off. It wasn't putt-putt. It was not. That's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's presented by Red River Dodge.
How did he break 100? He bounced it off the windmill to finally get one in the hole. That's how he got underneath 100. All right, Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
I don't know if our next guest is much of a golfer. I do know he's a good basketball analyst for 24/7 Sports. Travis Branham joins us now. Travis, you're a golf guy or just a basketball guy?
I'm an absolutely huge golf guy. I actually took the day. I needed a day off yesterday, so I hit the course and will be hitting it for 9 holes late this evening.
All right, good man. Well, Travis, I know that you probably still got your phone on loud with all these updates that are coming through with not just potential Arkansas targets, but national targets all over the country. I've seen a lot of news lately in regards to not just Kentucky former players, but guys that were committed to the Wildcats. I know that Cal was at the Overtime Elite Spring Combine last night making some waves there. Who have you been keeping an eye on specifically that's a former Kentucky commit or player that you could see potentially winding up here in Fayetteville?
Yeah, obviously it started with Big Z. Guys who I'm looking at next going to be DJ Wagner, Jaden Quaintance, Carter Knox, Boogie Flan, and Billy Richmond, who just reopened it yesterday. Now, Santos Cyril was one of those guys that opened it up, was part of his 2024 recruiting class. Now, I think his situation is a bit more open at this point in time, and wouldn't be a surprise to see him end up elsewhere. Jane Quaintance is also similarly going through the process, taking a visit to Louisville, or just took a visit to Louisville, trying to get my days right. But he's one that I know John Calipari would absolutely love to have. I don't know how much digging you guys have done into who Jaden Quaintance is, but a top 10 player in the country, extremely talented and extremely young. Going to be a kid that has to play college basketball for 2 seasons. But Carter Knox, to me, seems like the most likely guarantee of a kid to follow him over to Arkansas from Kentucky. He coaches his older brother, Kevin Knox. Obviously got Carter committed not long ago, back in March, to Kentucky. And he was actually the very first to decommit from Kentucky shortly after all the news started breaking that John Calipari would be becoming a Razorback next season.
Travis, is it like 99%? I mean, he's got Chicken Man in his bio. We know what John Tyson just did. I mean, what has to happen for him not to end up in Fayetteville, man?
Well, just for a little bit of context with the Chicken Man thing, he may be referencing his, I don't know, again, covering Carter Knox. He has an obsession with McDonald's McChicken sandwiches, like an obsession. So when he puts Chicken Man in there instead of Burger Boy, like when you're a McDonald's All-American, all these kids like to call themselves Burger Boys. Wouldn't be a surprise if he was calling himself a Chicken Man, because when he goes to McDonald's, he's rocking it out with the chicken sandwich.
Yeah. My kids like the nuggets, so I know what you mean.
But
Travis Branham with us on the.
I would be shocked if he doesn't end up an Arkansas Razorback. I really would.
All right, that's the good news, Travis. Hey, tell us about this. Travis Branham with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Cal gets all the credit for all these transfers and all these commits and recruits, and that's well based. But we've seen the list and the names of the staff members coming with him from Kentucky to Arkansas, who we presume will. Who are the best recruiters on Cal's staff? Kind of walk us through who are some of the names we don't know that are kind of in the shadow of Coach Cal that really do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to rounding out this roster for him.
Yeah, based on my end, I'm still trying to determine it. let's just say it this way. Reportedly, all the guys, Orlando Antigua, Chin Coleman, Chuck Martin, are all coming with him to Kentucky. Based on what kind of has gone on over the years, Orlando Antigua has brought a handful of players to Kentucky. He's proven himself as a recruiter and a guy that has a big energy, very personable, a guy that just can quickly make an easy impression in a recruiting room and getting to know players and parents. Chin Coleman is also, he was only here for, when I say here, I live in Lexington. So all this, that's why I keep saying here. But when Chin Coleman was in Lexington, he's working for Kentucky in 2-3 years. He did a really good job of going out and getting the high-level talent. He was a big role in getting a guy like Rob Dillingham this past year. They all played a role in getting Justin Edwards. But he has proven himself pretty quickly to be able to recruit at a high level, especially in this era of this NIL transfer portal era. And then you have Chuck Martin, who's knows John Calipari, may not be this quote-unquote elite recruiter, but he's very versatile. He can bring a lot of different things to a college basketball program. He's recruited at South Carolina. He recruited at Indiana. He recruited at Oregon. So he's got a vast network and connections. And, again, that experience of going way back with John Calipari is very, very valuable to have as well.
So, Travis, you mentioned you live in Lexington. Here's what I want to know. What's the mood like now for the Razorbacks? I mean, Kentucky and Arkansas has been a great rivalry back in the day, and Arkansas probably has always considered it more of a rival than maybe Kentucky has. What's the sentiment with the fans, and what's people feel on the street about Arkansas now that Calipari's in Fayetteville and not in Lexington? Is this going to be a saucy series moving forward from the Kentucky side now?
Yeah, I would say the fans here are pretty fired up. One, they're really excited about Mark Pope, but two, they're very anxious to have John Calipari arrive in Lexington with Arkansas. I think a lot of people just kind of got jacked up the fact that he made this move from Kentucky to Arkansas, being in conference. So fans, with the way things went the last 4 or 5 years, just the mood on the street is a lot of people are just fired up, and when they come into Lexington, they're going to be as loud as they have been since Rick Pitino left for Louisville, and he finally came into town and played Kentucky. Like, that's the environment, the scene that I imagine it'll be like in Rupp Arena when that happens.
I can't wait. I think that might be – I had been to Lexington since Baylor played him back in the day. That might be worth the 9 or 10-hour car drive here from Arkansas. So we're talking with Travis Branham this morning via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. He is a national basketball expert for 24/7 Sports. Travis, and you're going to have to help me with his last time. I saw the young man from Arizona just committed for Indiana yesterday. Was set to sound like visit Arkansas, and then committed to Indiana. Who are some of the more high-profile kids out there right now that have still not decided on their next school?
Yeah, I mean, there's over 1,700 players in the transfer portal right now, and only about 200 of them have committed. So there is just a massive amount of available players out there now. I do think, like we saw with Umar Ballo, who you were mentioning, transferring from Arizona to Indiana, there's a brief hour where it was like, oh, is this kid going to take a visit to Arkansas next week or whatever? And sure enough, he just rips the Band-Aid off and just heads to Indiana. They're the overwhelming favorite. I don't know if anybody was going to kind of compare to what he was getting offered at Indiana, if you kind of read between the lines. Other than that, I mean, there's still tons of talent out there. John L. Davis, Florida Atlantic transfer. I think everybody should be pretty well aware of him. Everybody's assuming that he's going to end up at Michigan. I would not make that assumption by any means. This is a wide open recruitment. Other than that, you also have A.J. Storr still out on the board. John Calipari and the staff were getting involved with him shortly shortly after he decided to transfer while they were all at Kentucky. So there's already a bit of a foundation that's been laid. And again, his recruitment, people are expecting him to go to Illinois. That seems to be opening up as well. So could see Arkansas become a bit of a bigger player. Another one, Great Osabor, out of Utah State, one of the top players in the portal, guy that came out of complete obscurity, transferred from Montana State to Utah State last year. Only averaged like 9 points a game. Nothing popped about him. And then all of a sudden he gets to Utah State and averages 18, 9, and 3 a game. Just very skilled big man that can impact the game in a variety of ways, and just took the country by storm with just the impact he played out to be, and ended up being one of the top transfers in last year's transfer portal. Another guy that they're involved with at Kentucky before they left was Javon Small, Oklahoma State guard. Just a dynamic 3-level scorer and playmaker who made his way to Oklahoma State last year out of East Carolina. And then lastly, another top transfer that I'll be looking at is, do they get involved with Cliff Omoruyi? They're involved with him again at Kentucky. And since they've made the move to Arkansas, Cliff's kind of recruitment continues to kind of almost, when he entered the portal, it was basically everybody's assumption that he'd end up somewhere like St. John's, maybe a UConn, somewhere in that New York tri-state area. But throughout the last, he's kind of been dragging this out. And so he's continued to hear from more schools and just appears to be more open than we thought. So will John Calipari and this program go after a guy who can protect the rim with the best of them in the entire country and really just grab rebounds? Not the greatest offensive guy, but an absolute menace on that offensive end.
Travis, last thing before we let you go, and we appreciate you making some time for us this morning with the transfer portal opening back up. I know you've been busy. There are still some fans here, and I don't blame them, that have reservations about John Calipari, that think that he's on his last leg, that think that he's collecting a paycheck. It has not gone according to plan in the NCAA tournament the last 5 years. So what would lead you to believe, as a top-tier analyst, that he can change his postseason perception here in Fayetteville?
Yeah, I would say it's new life for him at Fayetteville. I would say things had just gotten a little bit, maybe stale is the right word, around Kentucky over the last 4 or 5 years since that COVID year, and then losing in the NCAA tournament the next 3 years, not making it out of the first round. I think now that he's in Arkansas, like, it's just new life, new opportunity, and also just an added boost of motivation for him to just get back after it and kind of go out there and end out on the right note. And also probably wants to, I would imagine he probably wants to beat Kentucky fans just as badly as they're going to want to beat him this year. So there's a lot of motivation, new energy, and again, new life that's going to get John Calipari going. You know he's going to recruit. Just like I've seen here at Lexington for years and years and years. Dude gets his teams better throughout the entire course of the season, and I imagine he's going to get that done. And he adapted his play style last year with how many threes they got up. So if he continues that, I have no kind of reservations thinking that this dude will eventually be successful in March again at Arkansas.
Well, Travis, we'll leave it there. We appreciate you again making time for us in your busy schedule. Enjoy the transfer portal. I know you're going to be working like 20 hours a day, but get some more rounds in of golf, okay?
Will do. Appreciate you guys.
All right, that is again Travis Branham, 24/7 Sports national basketball analyst, got a good foothold on what's going on recruiting right now in college basketball, Tommy.
Yeah, great conversation with Travis. We'll have that up in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast a little bit later on. All of our basketball conversations presented by the Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. And by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com. Don't forget happy hour twice daily at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, 3 to 6, and then they do it again from 9 to close with half-price drinks and $5 appetizers. Mondays means 50-cent wings, so don't miss that. But get their great appetizers. Here's just a few of the examples: the potato skins, the spinach dip, the mozzarella sticks, the pot stickers, their new steakhouse meatballs, and a lot more are $5 on select appetizers during happy hours, 3 to 6, 9 to close, and half-price drinks as well. It's all at TGI Fridays, 540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
We got a text on the McLarty Daniel hotline from Joel, and I think that we need to rethink Arkansas basketball and pull ourselves back to the 90s for a sec. Not necessarily the winning, not necessarily the postseason success, the 95-4, the 94 national championship, the 95 national championship appearance, but the idea that you now, it got close under Muss, but you now are in the running for every top prospect in the country, out of the transfer portal and out of high school. Now, you're not going to land every one of them. You're not going to land all top 5 or all top 10 or whatever the case may be, but every young man out there has contemplated now coming to Fayetteville, Arkansas, even for a visit. Maybe not to play in the future, but just to talk with your head basketball coach. And as good as Eric Musselman was in postseason, and as good as savvy, I'm not going to pile on Muss. I'm not going to do that because he earned what he did here. But you have the best recruiter in college basketball on your campus, and every young man in the country knows that. You're not going to get all of them, but you're going to get a lot of them.
Yeah, and go out, have a, I think it's important to have a good first year, make the tournament, win some games. You don't have to go to the Final Four in year one. That will really get the momentum going. Now, I think there's fans here that expect, hey, you're paying $8 million a year or just under that. You ought to be in the Final Four first year. That's not just crazy talk. I don't know that that's really the way it should go when you're starting with a roster of 0, but this snowball needs to work early. And I think you got to be in the Final Four the first 3 years to really validate what you've done for Cal's side and for Arkansas' side of this joint venture, if you will. I think Travis Brandon was right. There's a reinvigorated, hungry John Calipari at Arkansas, and I don't think he's forgotten anything. I think he's probably more energized to work now than ever before. Just to prove that, hey, I'm not done yet. Chuck made this point that he knows, when you get to 60 and people think you're washed up, you have a little more desire to prove them wrong, and I think that's exactly where Calipari's at. And we'll see in this new world of transfer portal where every kid's accessible to anyone how that goes. But I like the odds here at Arkansas. It's good text, Joel. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, the place. I don't think people really understand how good the trout fishing is in Arkansas when you compare it. I mean, Ty, you just went to Montana, which is known for great trout fishing, and it has it.
And they all knew about Arkansas and the White River.
Yeah,
Isn't that wild?
Because it's the premier trout fishing spot. I mean, listen to what Ty just confirmed there. You go to Montana, one of the most beautiful places in our country, and they all want to come to Arkansas and trout fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good the White River is. Gaston's is the premier resort on the White River. So if you haven't ever trout fished, go get a guided fishing trip. Let them do all the work. You sit back, relax, and just enjoy one of the treasures in our state. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
This is former Razorback Chris Gregg, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab.
ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
I think some of you probably went to bed last night thinking Arkansas was going to drop the first game against Texas Tech. Instead, this happened at the tail end.
Souza waits on a 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a high drive right field by Souza. This one's a winner potentially. Harrelson from right field underneath it. Caught. Here's Sprague-Lott coming home. The throw. Hogs win it. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. 9-8. They lead one time on a game-winning sacrifice by Nolan Souza in the ninth. They were down 7-0, and they're going to party at Baum-Walker Stadium on a Tuesday night.
On a Tuesday night. That's what happened. It was a great game if you end up staying watching it on ESPN2 or listening right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. The freshman comes up big with that sacrifice fly on a 2-2 count. Dave Van Horn, always complimentary of the freshman.
Like, 60, 70 bats now, and to me, I don't see him. I don't look at him as a freshman. I look at him as just a good hitter, and I have a lot of confidence in him.
He's been good at home, Tommy. He's got some road woos, as most freshmen do, but Nolan Souza is as good a bat as there is in that lineup when he is at home in Baum-Walker Stadium.
Yeah, and, clearly, like the coach was just saying, got a lot of confidence in him. I think the fans should as well, and I had no problem with him being inserted in the lineup in that spot. I was just looking here during the break at the NCAA RPIs. Texas Tech, before last night, these have not been updated after the game last night, is 32 in the rankings. So this series is going to be one that probably, not that Arkansas needs a ton of help, they're at 4th in the RPI rankings, but this is not a midweek series that maybe even with wins would set you back. So I just wanted to check where Texas Tech was, and they're inside the top 35 right now.
That's a good ball club, and you're lucky to get game one win.
This is a valuable series.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You take it. All right, some Arkansas basketball news. According to Kevin McPherson, who covers the Arkansas basketball team for various outlets, Pictorial Nation, Hogville, saying that Joe Johnson could be a candidate on this staff, Tommy, for John Calipari. Still wondering about the status of Ronnie Brewer. You asked a good question to Travis Branham earlier, 24/7 sports analyst for basketball, about Cal's staff. That is a possibility, a former Razorback. Don't know about Ronnie's status yet, but maybe Joe Johnson, ISO Joe, being in the mix for this staff.
Well, that would be good. I mean, he was here, 3 semesters? Played a semester and then a year. I mean, far more known for his pro career than his Razorback career, not just nationally, but I think even here, within our fan base and footprint. But, what do all these kids that you're going after want to do? They want to play in the NBA. And whether it's ISO Joe or whether it's Ron Brewer or whether it's both, they both got that experience and that know-how, and I think they'd be great additions, not just because they were Razorbacks, but great players that have NBA experience.
Speaking of playing in the NBA, you had the play-in games last night. I have to be honest, didn't watch a lick of them. I did see Moses Moody had a productive game, 16 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, knocked down 4 of his 5 free throws, had a couple rebounds and assists too. They lost to the Sacramento Kings last night, so they have been eliminated from postseason play. But Moses, again, another solid performance, and probably the future for the Golden State Warriors.
So is the Warriors run or the dynasty, is it over? I mean, with that loss and not even really making the real playoffs, is it over for the Warriors as far as the run we've all experienced?
It's done. Steph's not washed up, but Klay Thompson is. Draymond's.
Klay went 0 for 10.
Yeah, I love Klay Thompson. I think he's one of the more underappreciated players, but he's done. And Draymond Green's antics have boiled over, and I think the Warriors are done with them. There's going to be a trade happening. Steph can still play. He's still incredible to watch. That just how he weaves and how he shoots the basketball. But yes, it's done. I'd love to see Moses take on a more prominent role, but yeah, I think it's done.
Let me throw this out there. Don't chastise me too much for this thought, but would you ever consider trading Curry if you're the Warriors for a ton of draft capital to build for the next wave while he's still got something?
I don't think that's a terrible, but they would. I mean, Myers, their GM's no longer there, but their owners and management would get ripped to the moon, even though that is probably the smart move. Because remember, I mean, Jerry Jones traded Herschel Walker back in the day, and that ended up being a pretty good thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at the time, it was like, I mean, he got ripped for that. And all y'all listening, remember that when he made that move and fired Landry and some other things, it was like, what is he doing? Sure enough, a few Super Bowls later, you're not really wondering that. So while it would be the move, I just don't think they can. I think that organization is tied to him at the hip, and I think he'll retire as a Warrior. Even I think that's a good thought, Tommy. I think it makes sense. Not just
get something while it's worth while you can. I mean, because right now you could get a ton of draft capital for him, and he may go somewhere and win again. But you've got to build for the future because he's got what, handful of years, less than 5 years of shelf life left for himself.
Yeah, it's not a lot. And I would be surprised if he ever played anywhere outside the Chase Center in a home uniform. But crazier things have happened in the NBA. All right, last thing here. I know that it has been a talking point on the subject of John Calipari on why he didn't call the Hogs the other day. Luckily, Arkansas has put a video out of him calling the Hogs. Here is behind the scenes. You hear Chuck in the background. You hear some other people in the athletic department. Listen to Cal trying to figure out how to call the Hogs.
This is a special time to be a Razorback.
I'm excited for us to formally introduce Coach Cal to this state and the entire Razorback Nation.
Are we doing the big shoe? All right, so let's do it one time. Show me it again. Go ahead. Finger wheel is very important. Yeah. Big shoey.
And he forgets that you have to do it 3 times later on in the video. But yes, Tommy, that is going to happen at some point. I know people wanted to see it first night, but I was surprised at the, not backlash, but people were just like freaking out. Why didn't he call the Hogs? Of all things to take away from that press conference, that was at the top of the list, which made no sense.
I get it. It's our tradition. It's our call. It's what we do sometimes to start and end Razorback Club meetings and all sorts of events, but that was not the most important thing that night. And fans called the Hogs. Chuck let that hog call. It kind of, as Chuck said, spontaneously broke out. But I'm not ready to move on to another coach because he didn't call the Hogs on the stage that night.
Neither am I. All right, that's your Hog Update. As always, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, Clay Henry set to join us in hour number 3. I know he's disappointed me that I wasn't able to fish, but I did somehow, some way bring his rod and his flies back to Arkansas. So I guess I can take some solace in that, Tommy.
Hey, good day to get by and get a homemade burger at Art's Barbecue Burgers and More. They got 10 different burgers on the menu. If you haven't tried the green chili burger, let me tell you what you need to enjoy about this, what you need to know about it. It's got a smoked poblano pepper on top, and then they put on that pepper jack cheese. It is to cheddar jack cheese. It is really an amazing burger. If you haven't tried it, it's full of flavor. It's one of their many burgers. Get something with their house-made bacon as well. Burgers are just one of the highlights of the menu. There's many more. Art's Barbecue, Burgers, and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
With age, often causing a lack of energy, anxiety, weight gain, diminished libido, and performance issues. Don't suffer in silence. Call Maverick Male Medical in Fayetteville today for more about testosterone or weight loss therapy. They focus on your excellent care, optimal health, and performance. Call Maverick Male Medical today at 305-8206. That's 305-8206. Or go to maverickmalemedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV RV.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at LindberghTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the bases loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the bases loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know.
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb, FaceGram, you get it, Matt.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. Shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine across the north. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover further south. Our high in the low to mid 80s. Chance of a few showers with thunderstorms across the north tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid 60s. And then a better chance of showers and thunderstorms for Thursday. A high in the low to mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, ready to serve.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Souza waits on a 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a high drive right field by Souza. This one's a winner potentially. Harrelson from right field underneath it. Caught. Here's Sprague Lott coming home. The throw. Hogs win it. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. 9-8. They lead one time on a game-winning sacrifice by Nolan Souza in the ninth. They were down 7-0. And they're going to party at Baum Walker Stadium on a Tuesday night.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's not many times you're down 7 runs in your home ballpark and you still come back to win. What a performance from Arkansas baseball last night. And it was not an overall performance. It was really the middle to late game performances. Arkansas's down 7-0, and they end up coming back and winning last night. 9-8 the final. As you heard Phil say, party in Baum Walker Stadium on a Tuesday night. Dave Van Horn had some funny comments after. It's like, I didn't think I was going to be smiling during this press conference, but there was a smile on his face after the game, Tommy.
All right, we'll bring Clay into the conversation. I'm sure he was, like many of us, should I keep this thing turned on? Should it's 7-0, do I turn it off? And fortunately, it was early enough in the game. We all kind of held in there and watched that exciting finish. We're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. They're at the entrance to Riley Farms. They provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics. They do it all. Dr. Sparkman, Dr. Davis, Dr. Farmer, they're all there. They even do same-day crowns now. So if you've got a crown that's come loose or you need one done and you don't want to walk around without a tooth, so if you need a crown, you need it done fast, they can do it the same day at Riley Farm Dental. 479-226-3500 is their number, 226-3500, or see their website at rileyfarmdental.com.
I have just one question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
Here he is.
Hey. Play. Henry.
Clay, that was it's an interesting game last night. You had 2 6-run innings, one for Tech in the second, one for Arkansas in the fifth. The Razorback bats woke up a little bit. Their bullpen kind of kept them steady after a bad start and really a bad second inning from Ben Bybee. And he came away with a midweek game last night that, as Tommy pointed out, pretty good RPI team you had in Baum Walker Stadium.
That's true. That's true. They'll probably be in the NCAA tournament. That's the way that works. If you're a break-even team in a Power 5 conference, then you're in postseason. And that game doesn't hurt Texas Tech, and it wouldn't have hurt Arkansas either.
Nope.
That's a lot better than playing UCA or UAPB or one of those teams. Arkansas State, you name them all. But it's fun to see, 2 good teams go at it. These are teams that have been in the College World Series often. They've got a good history and good, they're, one's knocked the other out times. I'm talking about the College World Series, and these played a lot of those Texas guys. They know each other. They played against each other in summer ball, a lot of them. So there's some. There's some competitive juice flowing in this game. We saw Texas Tech can really hit. You've got good hitting going against good pitching. Arkansas trying to work Ben Bobby back, and he had a really great first inning and a really bad second inning. So that he's got some more work to do. Be a little finer on the pitches, not be in the middle of the plate so much. You want to throw strikes, but man, you can't work the middle of the plate. That's the hitting zone.
Yeah, and it was weird because, like you said, he was good in first inning. Didn't go according to plan. Now tonight you'll see Big Fish, which Dave Van Horn talked about yesterday.
We'll go with the Big Fish.
Colin Fisher tonight on the mound, and I say tonight, 4 o'clock will be the start. If you could come away with 2 of these midweek games, like Clay saying this is a tournament team, you'd love to add that to your resume. Clay, even if you lose tonight, though, and Tommy and I were kicking about this earlier, you're well on track to host not just a regional, but be a national top 8 seed. I know Arkansas lost this weekend, but this would definitely just add to your resume if you got both of them tonight.
Nope, nobody really likes to hear this, but when you go on the road against a top SEC team, you got to get 1. If you get 2, you really did something. If you got 3, then your RPI just goes through the roof. But they're sitting pretty. Their RPI is strong. Their pitching is good. Their defense is okay. Well, I saw a play last night late in the game, and there's a fly ball to left field. It's down the line, and the wind's blowing it to the left. So it's a little bit of a I guess the outfielders to the right. Home plate looks like it's going to the left. The left fielder caught it, but I looked, and Aloy was 50 yards out there by the left fielder down the line. I was like, man, what a run by him. It's what you want to see from your shortstop, cover a lot of ground and be there if he was needed.
He's made some plays this year defensively. I know his offense has picked up lately, but I mean he had a play at a snag of the Alabama game that I was just blown away by. There's been other plays he's made in the
really
infield.
solid.
Oh, he's really good. And he's big too. He's like, what is he, 6'2", 6'3", so he's got some length that.
Man, they lost Jalen Battles, and I was like, well, they won't have a shortstop like that. This he may be better. So yeah, hats off to Arkansas for getting that guy in.
And to your point, Clay, Texas Tech had a similar defensive play to make down that left field line and didn't make it. And the ball fell in fair and allowed Arkansas to advance base runners and score runs. So I mean, it was a huge play in the game. And to your point, Aloy makes that play, and Texas Tech was unable to come up with the ball on a very similar play in a very similar spot.
See, I knew you would be right there, Tommy, with that. I didn't expect Ty to come up with that, but I did. I knew that the veteran that you are.
Well, yeah. Well, I just paid attention. That's all I did. So, but it's
well, there's a point to be made.
Those were 2 plays that. It's a. Here's one that Ty would say. It was a juxtaposition within that game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess that would be his line.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, back to you, Ty.
All right, I'll try and segue. I don't know how I'm going to segue from that, but I will do my best. All right, so that's what happened in baseball side of things. Again, later on today, 4 o'clock, SEC Network. It was on ESPN2 last night. Clay, there's been an uproar basketball. We were discussing earlier. I mean, you got the number 2 baseball team in the country. You just had your spring game, and all anyone wants to talk about is Arkansas basketball, including the addition of Big Z, who was added earlier this week, committed to this Arkansas basketball team. Have you tried to pronounce his name yet? You given it a whirl?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like you, Big Z.
Big Z.
I got it.
Easy.
I got it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm working on it. I need to see the phonetic spelling. You radio guys, that's what y'all have in front of you, and it's the cheat sheet, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to spell it yet either, so I'm not any better. But it's I know who he is. Remember watching him play. Remember when he came in to finally got eligible. The NCAA kind of dragged their feet, but you knew at some point he would be. And he was kind of off and on, and he's trying to learn everything. I mean, I don't mean just basketball. Learn everything. He's in a different country and thrown into the fire of SEC play. Some games he did all right. It seemed like he was a little better at home than he was on the road. Maybe they used him. Cal might have felt that he might be a little more comfortable at home. I'm excited because I think year 2 will be better than what year 1 was, and he was decent in year 1. He can shoot the 3, get you baskets around the hoop, just because of his length.
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to block some shots. So that you're going to have some 7-footers. That's just the way Cal rolls.
I think it's cool that they're on guys that are not just recruits out of high school, but Big Z, DJ Wagner, some of the Kentucky guys that were freshmen last year that will have more. And Jaden Quaid,
absolutely,
you got Jaden Quaidens, Carter Knox, or some of the 5-star freshmen that were committed to Kentucky that have since opened their letters of recruitment. I've seen reports out there that Jonas Adu might have interest in Arkansas, who pounded the Razorbacks in Fayetteville. I mean, think about a front line of Adu and Big Z and some others, the 7-footer. That was a characteristic, Clay, that I think Arkansas, while they had a lot of success under Eric Musselman in the postseason, you have to give him credit there. They didn't have exactly an imposing front line all the time, and that's going to be a dramatic change, I think, under John Calipari, like you're saying. If you can have the guards like he's had, then you can have it both ways, it sounds like.
Let's just be honest. They were soft. I mean, they were soft, and this is not me saying it. I can remember several games where they asked players, like, well, what did y'all do at halftime to try to correct it? It's like whatever was going wrong. And he says, Coach just said we played soft. And that was a tendency, and I think that's, they had a defensive front line that just, they were soft. And it was a battle every week to get their big guys to play like big guys. They back away. Or they just tried to block shots instead of play defense, and that's got to be fixed. And you're going to do it with different players, so it's probably, that's probably not going to be a problem with this team. I haven't ever seen one of Coach Cal's teams play like that. But that was the, kind of the, the Achilles heel of this last team, that they didn't have enough what I call, studs down in the block, in the paint. They gave up stuff there. They gave up stuff at the rim. And, I mean, they might try to block a few shots, but that generally they didn't want to stop somebody. They just wanted to back away and try to block their shot. And I don't think that's the way Cal will have them playing. And he's going to have some guys that somebody gets in foul trouble, they'll just roll with the next guy.
But we got to also, look at it from the standpoint, Cal's looking for a better team than he had last year. And obviously, we talked about Reed Shepherd yesterday. He's probably going to go to the draft, but he's not a guy that would come anyway. He's a Kentucky guy. Yeah, a few that are moving on, and some that'll do other things. But even that roster for Cal last year at Kentucky, in the end, guys, wasn't good enough to win it in the regular season and get at all down the track in the postseason. So Cal's not looking for the roster he had last year. I mean, we all got to be looking for better players than what he had at Kentucky last year. You wouldn't take that.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to, fill out your next radio roster, you're going to look for different guys. You're going to try to get better. I mean, you're not, you're going to say, okay, we had Ty. Ty did this and this. What were his faults? Which were, the list is going to be long. You're going to try to check some of those boxes, when you go forward.
I think there's a lot of Razorback fans, but that would, we would just get Kentucky's team here. It's kind of, they're not saying it, but we're kind of thinking it, and we're like, no, you need a team better than what Kentucky had last year. That's not just snap your fingers and make it happen. I think what Cal's trying to do here is got a little more challenge, and we think he's just going to wave a magic wand. I guess that's the point I'm really trying to make. He can't just show up at the overtime elite and they all just, hey, where do I sign? I mean, this is a more daunting task than I think we stopped to realize.
Well, you're not going to. Here's the deal: you're not going to win games with the overtime elite players. I mean, it's been proven time and time again. He needs a guy or two from there, but the true guys are going to be the ones that help you in postseason, which is the only thing that matters. I mean, ask Kentucky fans, why did Cal leave? Because they got tired of his lack of postseason success with outstanding freshmen. But it's getting guys like Big Z who are back for a second year, DJ Wagner who are back for a second year, or some of these other transfers like Jonas Adu or Jeremy Roach, the Duke point guard that just hit the portal that you're apparently in the running for. Those are the guys that are going to put you over the top, not the
veteran college players.
Exactly. And Cal has an opportunity to go get guys like Antonio Reeves or Justin Edwards, who are the key transfers off the team last year. The flash and pizzazz of Shepherd and Dillingham and others are great in the regular season, but they're not going to come up big in the postseason.
Let's just talk about we can draw from what Eric Musselman did at Arkansas and why they were successful in postseason, in those 3 middle years that he was here. Justin Smith, Stanley Moody, Jalen Tate. Those guys were veterans, and they were good defensive players. They knew the finer points of the game. You get those guys, and it doesn't take a whole lot of them to change what you've got. Ricky Council the fourth. It's like that guy's just now signed a nice NBA contract.
Yep.
So those are guys that understand the game, and when coach calls over and I need this stopped, I need that done, it's like, man, they get it. They can immediately make adjustments during the game because they're veteran college players that have seen it all. And 18-year-olds, they're like, do what? Said, I'm not even sure I understand what you just said because they don't know the language yet. But it's I'm going to use the word that I just really, really hate.
Garner.
No. Then you've used to throw it at me. Should fans be worried about this?
Oh.
And no, it's okay. It's okay. They don't need to be worried about this. It's gonna happen. He understands exactly. And if there's any coach that adjusts as he goes and understands what the landscape is, it's this guy. And he can do it all. He's versatile and agile. It's like he understands the portal. He'll get some of those because all that is recruiting. You just have to decide who you want, and then he's really good in the home, and he'll get the guys that he wants. That's my confidence level in what we've got as the Arkansas head coach now.
All right, what do you think? McLarty Daniel Hotline is open, 877-377-6963 for your calls and your text and your comments on it. All of our basketball conversation is brought to you by the Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. And by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com. We've now reached the portion of the program where it's time for Clay to hang his head in shame with Ty, who, Clay, went to Montana, took your fly rod and your flies, and did not tie one on, he may have tied one on, but it wasn't for a fish this weekend in Montana. Clay, you loan him all of this equipment, you go out of your way, and he doesn't even wet a line. What's going on here?
But I'm gonna give him a break, and I know that's stunning. He did not go at the right time to be fly fishing. So, they've had some warm days. You've got the snows in the mountains. And when you get warm days in April and in May and even into part of June, what you have is it's called the runoff. And the snow melts and everything comes to life in the valleys. You've got irrigation water, but the rivers are just too flush to do anything, especially wade fishing.
He didn't know any of that. You're telling him that.
My friend.
Well,
that's not why he didn't go, though.
But I knew that he had other options, which he sent me pictures of some really pretty golf courses, and they're everything is perfect. They've got winter grasses, and they've got some really nice golf courses. I think Nicholas has built several out there. Tom Fazio has built one. So there's some option golf-wise, in the spring while you're waiting for the runoff to kind of settle out. I don't go out there in April. I just don't. It's just, you could get a snowstorm. You could get really cold weather. And if you don't, you're going to get some heat that causes the runoff to kick up. And it's dirty, nasty, dark water because it's full of silt. So you can't fish. Or if you can, it's going to be like in a lake, still water. So isn't that what happened, Ty?
Yes, I didn't know about any of that until I was told by someone like yourself that is much more knowledgeable. It's a little frustrating.
That's disappointing.
We came
I
up
was wanting Ty to get chastised. This is very disappointing to me.
Oh, thank you for being.
Well, I don't think it's his fault. It's what I'm getting at. That is still, and I told him, hey, you know what? I figured on the front end, Ty was going to go out there, and there's about 5 brew pubs in Bozeman, and, man, he'd be in his element.
I wanted
and he'd just come back and say, I tied one on, Clay.
He did.
That'd be where he'd leave it.
It was.
There's White Claw cans everywhere.
I will say, and I told Tommy this earlier, everyone in Bozeman that I talked to about fishing knew about the White River in Arkansas, and they spoke to just the significance that it holds in not just the United States but North America, and how like that. I mean, these are dudes from Georgia, these are guys from like California, and that are.
I smell a Gaston's commercial coming out.
Yeah, well, we mentioned that. We mentioned that earlier. So it was really cool. Like that they didn't know much about the state itself, but they did know about the White River, and
they knew who Coach Cal was, didn't they?
Yes, we. I got a couple woo pigs in the airport wearing some Arkansas gear. So I told my buddies, I said our stock has never been higher. And
that's right.
And that's how I felt.
Well,
about
it was
that.
pretty high in '94.
Yeah, but since I've been alive,
Since he's out of diapers. Yeah.
In your short lifetime, it's never been higher.
Very short. Yeah, hopefully not too short. But at this point,
hey, was it a fun trip?
It was
Did you
cool,
like what
man.
you see?
It's cool, Clay.
How about coming into Bozeman in the airport? If you had clear skies, you could look to the left and see Yellowstone. I mean, it's just waterfalls. It's all pretty cool.
Tommy, it sounds like I had a better experience than you did when it comes to travel. I didn't have any issues. You sound like you did.
I did wear my Razorback shirt, and I got a lot of comments as well. Hey, guys, for over a century, your friends and your neighbors at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas have helped you keep your farm or your ranch in Arkansas, not Montana, up and running through the good times and the tough ones. Visit myaglender.com or drop in any of their 26 locations near you and see how Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can keep your farm or your ranch operating from sunrise to sunset.
Ryan in Hot Springs, hold on. We'll get to your thoughts on baseball and football news. Isaiah Gustav, Jacoby Criswell have entered the transfer portal. You'll see some other guys this week that will do so as well. We'll get Clay's thoughts and reaction coming up next.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, this is Taylor Green, Arkansas quarterback, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Diamond Center is proud to present our inaugural Whiskey and Watches event. Now is your chance to get your hands on that timeless timepiece you've been dreaming of. Between now and Thursday, April 25th, in our Fort Smith store, call or stop by to pre-order your watch. Then join us on Thursday, April 25th for a night of celebration featuring rare whiskeys, cigars, and luxury watches. This is your opportunity to add that watch that you've always had an eye on to your collection. For more information or to pre-order your watch today, give us a call. The Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Dial Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Join the March Mayhem and catch every game at 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith. Open 7 days a week with daily specials. Enjoy bowling on one of their 14 lanes. Play pool on one of their 13 tables. Sit at the deluxe bar and indulge on gourmet food while the kids play at the fun arcade. Let the madness begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith. Come for the food, but stay for the fun.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit, or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tommy, and
The pitch to Stovall. Swing and a drive to right field. If it's fair, that ball is out of here. Fair ball just inside the pole in right field.
The Gimme the Hawks Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
The bullpen was amazing tonight. We wouldn't be sitting here with a smile on our face if we didn't have that depth, that's for sure.
Especially when after that happened in the second inning, gave up 6 runs and looked like, oh, all right, Arkansas is going to finally lose a midweek game this season. Nevertheless, they came back and won. I know that's what Ryan in Hot Springs wants to talk about on the McLarty and Daniel hotline. We will do so coming up, as well as talk with Clay, a little football news that we got over the weekend, Tommy.
Hey, today begins Arkansas law enforcement's official push on their Drive High, Get a DWI campaign that's going to be going on April 19th, starting today through the 21st. If you feel different, you drive different. This is an intensified effort to crack down on drug-impaired driving in our state. Officers will be stopping anyone under the suspicion of driving impaired. for the next 3 days. There will be an intensified campaign on this. Arkansas law enforcement officials conducting this campaign remind everyone that even prescription drugs and driving under the influence of those, even though they've been prescribed by your doctor, is illegal as well. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DWI. This message brought to you by the Arkansas State Police.
Ryan's been waiting about 30 minutes now. We'll welcome him in via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Ryan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
So I had to play the father card last night, and I had to turn the game off for a little while because they started knocking them through the gap and stuff. I had to change the channel because I had a 3-year-old sitting next to me that repeats everything I say, so I had to keep from adding to her vocabulary. I had to change the channel for a little while. But once we got tied back up, I was able to turn it back on. She'd also laid back down, so I was glad to see we got the win last night.
That was I don't imagine you were the only one that may have muttered some words under his breath during the course. I mean, it was odd to see. And Bobby's been good. Like you mentioned, kind of getting him back, and he's been good coming off what he's been dealing with, but just didn't have it last night for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, that was a step up in competition. He's been playing against so lesser teams, and they've got a pretty good lineup as far as hitters. And he came out there throwing that changeup, and then he left some of them kind of in the middle of the plate. I mean, if you throw a changeup, it's got to be moving down. You can't be letting them hit line drives. It's got to be ground balls, or swing and misses. So he's going to have to go back to the bullpen and refine that a little bit and understand that. After one or two, you got to take that off the, out of the rotation for, a hitter or two and show them something else, a breaking pitch. But Matt Hobbs will get him straight.
Yeah, I think that he'll bounce back too. Well, Clay, that's baseball. We talked some baseball this morning. We talked some basketball. I hadn't touched on football with you just yet. Jacoby Criswell enters or reportedly going to enter the transfer portal. I need to clarify that according to reports. Gustav has. Due to a statement he released. Just kind of your thoughts on those two individuals and their decision with their college football future.
With running backs and quarterbacks, the handwriting on the wall, you see yourself as third, fourth, or fifth. You gotta make the move. You gotta go find an opportunity to play because you're just not. I think he was third. They had not said that. But by performance, it looked like he was third. His body language kind of showed that he wasn't happy. I mean, it just didn't look like it was working. And, I mean, he knew it. And that's why his body language was that, the people that were around the program, they saw that. They saw the body language. And so, he just didn't read coverages. He made too many mistakes. And that's you can't do that, quarterback. And some of the others, the younger ones, they seem to be more consistent. So I'm sure the same things that plagued him when he was at North Carolina and why he didn't win a job there. You throw into coverage, you're not sure, you hesitate. You're just not going to play. And so he's going to go somewhere. And I know that they really like the freshman from Florida, Augustov, and he's got talent, but you look, in the rotation, they're playing them in order of what they think. I can sit here and give you a depth chart. He was fourth or fifth, and you need that many, but it's like, hey, that they're going to keep bringing in backs, the portal, and you can't get on the field. Well, that's it's time to find another spot, and I feel for him. But when you see Braylon Russell and then you see, Jackson that came from Utah, he's not on the same level. And, there are a couple other players, holdovers that he wasn't going to beat out. So once you do the math, and he's fifth. So that's what happens.
He had some flashes last year, so those guys are beating him out.
Oh, no, the running back room is good. Yeah.
I was going to say that's a good sign because I thought he had some moments last year, Augustus, that were really good. So he's fourth or fifth, and I like where we're headed.
He's got some skill. He's not as strong or as big as those other guys, and it didn't seem like his pass protections. That'll get you on the bench with Petrino. You better have your pass protection. where you understand where the guy's coming. You've got to step across the formation and pick up somebody when they flip it, at the last minute. So, but I really like their top 3 or 4 running backs.
All right, still more time for calls and text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963 with 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville. A good deal is never too far away. Ty, they're always online at McLartyDaniel.com.
Got a question about recruiting in basketball. I'll answer it next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is ESPN college basketball analyst and former Razorback Jimmy Dykes, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
It's a good day to be in Arkansas. You know why? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1.5 million. And the best part? The winning ticket can only be sold in Arkansas. Maybe today. Maybe even to you. Can you imagine? There's a jackpot drawing every Wednesday and Saturday night. So your next chance to win is coming up very soon. Try Lotto today for only $2 per play. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
On Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., NAFI and local law enforcement will host DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day at locations across the region. Take-Back Day offers free and anonymous disposal of unneeded medications at close to 5,000 local drop-off locations nationwide. Join us at Harrison City Hall, Boone County Sheriff Department, Mountain Home Police Department, or Tractor Supply in Mountain Home. For more information, contact Kyle Evett at 870-391-3367.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
That's my hero. I want to be when I grow up.
This is The Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons. The world's first AI smart face designed using real player data. Cobra Dark Speed Woods and Irons. The fastest driver Cobra has ever built. Start the new year off with a lesson and feel more confident on the course. Contact Matt Brooks at 646-4430. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Congrats to Robin Herron, who was named the SEC Pitcher of the Week out of Birmingham yesterday. 2-0 last week, had a 0 ERA, 12 strikeouts, and held the South Carolina Gamecocks to 0 runs. That's who the Arkansas softball team played last week. You, of course, will play the men's side of things. The baseball team travels to Columbia, South Carolina. Clay, you said it earlier. I know this sometimes isn't the most popular take, but just getting a win this weekend would be great. I know you'd love to take the series, but South Carolina's not, Columbia's not the easiest place to go win a couple games either.
No, the good thing is, you've got the best pitcher in America going on Friday night. Sometimes that you get that win Friday, then you start going after house money then. I mean, it's pretty cool to know that you got Hagen Smith to get you started right. Hey, I got an Aggie joke for you.
Let's hear it.
So the Aggie softball team is staying in the same hotel as the Razorback baseball team. And they're both playing. If you're in Tuscaloosa, who you're playing? It's Alabama. So one of the moms, I think it was Will McIntyre's mom. There's two softball girls from Texas A&M in the elevator, and it's like, ladies, what position do you play? And they said, and he's like, says, well, great. And says, you're here to play against Alabama? Yeah. Well, good luck to y'all. And she says, well, my son is a baseball pitcher for the Razorbacks. And the Aggie girls are like, well, who are y'all playing?
That sounds like a true story.
No, it's a true story. True story. Aggies will Aggie.
Oh,
yeah, so, I mean, who are you playing if you're in Tuscaloosa? You're playing Alabama. Oh, my gosh. So,
that's hard to come back from.
Totally
And
believable.
It's totally believable, too. One of the guys that you're hoping to have back for SEC play, who's been a part of SEC play but didn't play last night, is Kendall Diggs. Here's what Dave Van Horn had to say about the right fielder.
His non-throwing shoulder's been bothering him a lot longer than we knew. Let's put it that way. He'll be ready for the weekend. He just had some swelling in there. Just give him some anti-inflammatories, let him calm down this week, not swing the bat for a while. And they said he should be good to go by Thursday, probably at our practice down in South Carolina. So I appreciate his effort. He tried to tough it out, but it's been bugging him. And you could kind of tell that on certain swings it was bothering him. So we just want to get him 100%. If he's not 100% by Friday, I won't play him.
See, it sounds like kind of the first part of the statement that he's going to play, but if he doesn't feel up to it, then gonna sit him on Friday. I know Kendall's hasn't had the batting average that he kind of expected him to have, but it seems like there's a reason for that, guys.
Yeah, his bat's been a little slow. I mean, there's been some pitches I was like, well, that's his pitch, and he's not getting around on it. So something's off. I mean, I didn't think he was hurt, but looking back, you can understand it now.
Mm-hmm. Other news in your SEC update. I know we got a recruiting question earlier about John Calipari and what he's been doing as we turn on our Cal tracker this morning. John Calipari was at the Overtime Elite Spring Combine yesterday in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. Him, Bruce Pearl, some other SEC coaches were down there too. They're looking at different players like Carter Knox, Samodo, Cyril, and others, high-caliber high school kids. But that's where he was spending his time last night. He's still waiting on announcements, not just maybe to Fayetteville, but one way or another, from DJ Wagner, from Knox, from Cyril, and from these other guys. Clay, I put the number at 7, maybe 6.5 is a better number. I mean, how many could you truly see Cal getting of former Kentucky players and also Kentucky commits that jump ship to Fayetteville?
I don't know how many you want. That's the key.
It's good point.
And, you can commit them, 12 months, 18 months out, and then watch their senior year, and it's like, man, I think I want this guy. So it kind of gives you a chance to reset your expectations and your desires and how you want to build a team. And, who you get in one area, affects who you get in another area. I mean, if you decide you want this guard and you had this guy committed that plays the same position, well, maybe you don't want him. So I don't know what that number is, but I bet it's 4, 5, 6 right in there, like you say, 6.5. Is that what you put the over under?
Yeah, Tommy was like, you probably need to put that at half, and he's right. I had it at 7.
I'll go under.
Okay, yeah. I still think it's going to be close, but that is
I think there may be more portal guys than we think.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. And that is, Tommy, your SEC update brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas.
Yeah, right now is the time to think about that backyard of your dreams with savings up to $12,000 on in-ground pools during the 46th anniversary sale. I think that's the key number there, not the $12,000. It's the 46 years. This is a company that's been around, obviously, for a long time, and a company you can trust and a company you know is going to be there. If there's ever an issue or a need, they're not going to be hard to track down at all with a location in Springdale and in Fort Smith. And that's not always true in the pool business. We mentioned the savings on in-ground pools with construction starting in May. You can snag $1,200 off on a Doughboy above-ground pool and $5,000 off on Doughboy semi-in-ground pools. Hot tubs right now, by the way, start at just $39.99. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale and in Fort Smith, online at burtonpools.com. They do more than build pools at Burton Pools and Spas. They build long-term relationships, again, online at burtonpools.com.
So we did, unfortunately, hear of the passing of Whitey Herzog yesterday at 92 years old, the legendary Cardinals manager who helped them capture the 1982 World Series.
From the belt to the plate, a swing and a that's the winner. A World Series winner for the Cardinals. Winner throws his mask into the air. The players converge around the mound. The police arrive on the scene. The canine patrol and the mounted patrol. Some fans manage to get on the field.
I love old baseball calls. I just think they're so cool. I think they're more unique than basketball and football. Those have their place, but I just think those are awesome. Guys, we got a lot of Cardinal fans listening, and again, that is one of the
Jack Buck was one of the best ever too. That don't leave that part out.
Yep.
So, guys, the Whitey Herzog mention is really appropriate for this part of the state because he was a big trout fisherman. And if you go around, especially the older restaurants in town, their pictures, autographed pictures of him. There's autographed baseballs in display cases. There's
awesome.
People that have them in their home. It's Whitey Herzog, and he would come in the wintertime, which is really great fishing, as Tommy has done a nice job through the winter. When you can catch big browns in January, December, whatever, and that's when baseball players have their time off. Well, there's plenty of good weather during that time in Arkansas, but Whitey was much beloved in this part of the state, and this has always been viewed as Cardinal country. And there's I think Galen Pitts, lives here. Galen was, senior scout for the Cardinals. Galen's still around. So, I want to take you guys back for, the passing of another guy. Have y'all had a chance to talk about Larry Bechtel any? Offensive line coach. They kind of honored him, celebrated his life along with Dean Weber on Saturday, but he was Lou Holtz's offensive line coach. And then he, after his long NFL career, Detroit and Green Bay, and, he, kind of retired back to Arkansas and was always kind of around stuff. I'd see him at practice, or you see him at a luncheon when somebody was speaking, he'd be there. But this is a hot tub story. And so, Tommy, you've got your Burton pools and spas and hot tubs, that's like what's always your fear about your hot tub? It's going to be used by
Looking out
somebody
there
and
and
you didn't
ties in
know
it.
about it. Yeah.
Right.
You
right.
go out
I
there,
would be in it.
tie, and
tying 5 other dudes. So.
Yeah, it won't be women; it'll be dudes. Yeah, and so anyway, they've got the George Billingsley, who was my silent partner and started Hogs Illustrated, and he told this story, and then I confirmed it with Larry Bechtel years later. But it was right after recruiting was over, and Larry called George and says, "Hey, can I come up to Bella Vista?" And Bonnie and I, we're back from recruiting. We need a day to just kind of reset. And he says, "Hey, Boyce is going to that's his wife. She's going to Tulsa to shop. You guys, got the hot tub, but by 5 o'clock, y'all be out of there. She should be in there about be back home 5:30 or 6." So they went up there with about 3 cases of beer, took their clothes off, and got in there naked. Or naked is the way some people would say it. Well, guess what? Boyce came home early. And she goes through the sunroom and looks out there and screams, calls George. Wasn't a good deal, but a happy ending. They end up winning the Orange Bowl the next year. So
I don't know where to go with that.
That would be a frightening way to arrive.
Yeah, that's tough to walk into. Well, that is I was trying to follow that story as best as possible. It's pretty wild. As we wrap,
segue out of that one, big boy.
I'm still a rookie at this. I don't know if I have a veteran approach. I guess we can talk about Clay. You're going to be in Lincoln tomorrow at Lincoln High School.
Yeah, Haley Robinson, who's the outdoor education teacher, along with other things. She teaches a lot of things at Lincoln, but she's got one of the great outdoor education program for her students. And Tim Burnley from Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, who's stream team coordinator for the state. We're going to go speak. I'm going to show them how to tie flies, and we're going to go out in the fields and do some casting lessons. Ty, you come out there, and we'll show you how to do it.
What's tomorrow? Where's Lincoln, by the way? Help me.
West of Farmington.
Okay. All right. I thought it was Northwest Arkansas.
Kind of like it's like you're going to Oklahoma. Just stay on 62 and you'll hit it, I think.
Okay. Well, Clay,
I know that may not be the right road, but I know where it is.
Okay. Well, if you get lost, I think you can call
her.
It's
past the, the Prairie Grove battlefields. Lincoln is out that way.
Gotcha.
She has a great outdoor education program. She's won many awards. So she's also president of the Trotter Limited chapter in Northwest Arkansas. But I told Haley I would do that. So I've got we're taking some fly tying kits. We'll teach kids how to tie flies and then do some casting lessons.
Well, it sounds like you got an entertaining Thursday afternoon, and we've had an entertaining Wednesday morning. So appreciate it as always.
Glad to have you back, Ty.
That's good to be back, man. Good to be back here in the great old state of Arkansas. Appreciate everyone calling and texting via the McLarty Daniel hotline. Appreciate Clay. Appreciate Travis Branham, who joined us earlier in the program. If you missed some of his recruiting insight, find it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. For everyone listening, appreciate it. Back in these chairs tomorrow at